I'm not here to call women out. I am here to create internal paradigm shifts in women's belief systems so that they can manifest and create that in which they desire in life. But a lot of the times when I do this, it creates an internal trigger. It makes you feel like I'm talking to you, which, if you have that feeling, I am talking to you. But it also creates a huge resistance because it feels like I'm calling you out for doing something wrong. But what I want you to understand is I'm not telling you you're doing something wrong. I want you to shift those belief systems so that you can create a more dynamic life and get what you want in life. See, you're only doing what you have been taught this far. So what you know has gotten you to where you are. But you want something different, so we have to create new belief systems. And that can be really uncomfortable. I'm Lynn Louise, and you're listening to the Cosmic Valkyrie podcast. We're going to dive deep on today's podcast into creating the income that you want in your business. A lot of my listeners are American citizens, but I do have fans all over the world. So I want you to listen to this because you're going to get some great nuggets from it. So we are post-election now. The results are in, and we might see some surprises and recounts. I don't know. I don't know the future, but I'm leaning into this is the promises that have been made, and we need to start creating the outcomes in our life based on the knowledge that we have that this governmental system is taking forward. I know that was a mouthful. So it has been promised by our president-elect that anyone making under $360K a year, taxes will go up. I'm telling you this to give you a perspective on what the general population is going through and the shifts that we want to make so that we don't have to deal with that repercussion. Because I know a lot of my listeners have not hit mid six figures, and we want to change that. So we're going to talk specifically about the perception of taxes, the promises that the new president-elect has made around taxes, and how we're going to shift our belief systems to create the outcomes that we desire. So the first thing to know is that it has been promised that if you are making under $360K a year, you will be paying more in taxes. Now, that's a promise. So when people find this out, they often go into a state of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, worrying about how much more taxes they're going to pay this year. That's the natural default system because we have been taught from birth to fear taxes, to fear the tax man. We don't want to pay the tax man. We don't want to raise our taxes. Now, this is a deep story that I had to get over in my own life. As I began to make more and more money, I began to pay more and more taxes, and I needed to see that event as good. It was representational of me making more money. I was going to pay more taxes. So I had to create that internal paradigm shift that more taxes means more income. Now, there is a method to that, and I do have it available for the next 24 hours at a fraction of the cost that it would normally. But we're going to talk about that at the end because I really want to dig into how we're going to create our own personal internal paradigm so that we can pay less taxes in 2025. Yes, that means you're going to have to make $360K next year in 2025. So the first thing I want you to be aware of, what comes up for you when I tell you that you're going to have to make $360K in 2025? I imagine if you're like I was in my past, a lot begins to stir up. Self-doubt, fear, questioning that you're capable enough, that you're smart enough, that you're strong enough, that you're committed enough. All these things come to the surface, all this self-doubt. For every woman, we're told that we're not strong enough, that we're not committed enough, that we're not smart enough to have our own businesses. But all that's going to change. Because you are smart enough and strong enough. And I know that you are. Okay? I know for a fact that my listeners, you know that you are strong enough, smart enough, and independent enough to have success in your business. You know that. There is no question in your mind that you are. So what needs to shift in order for you to actually begin to make that money in your business? That's the golden question, right? Now, here's the thing. You've done a ton of mindset work, but I'm going to tell you 97% of the mindset coaches out there are only teaching you awareness. And awareness without method is not going to change anything for you. So you can have all the mindset, you can have all that awareness, but if you are not making the money, it's a key indicator that there's more work to be done. And that starts on the inside with the power of your mind. And I'm not talking about tapping into the collective consciousness. I'm not talking about sitting in meditation. I'm not talking about being in silence. This is about participating in this life. And I'm going to tell you how we're going to get through this so that you can begin to consistently have success one month after the other. Not having those months or launches where it's really, really good and then a flop. We want to create that consistent funnel of money coming into your bank account, into your business, so that you can create the better quality of life that you desire for your family and probably even your friends. So the one thing I want you to know straight out of the gate is what is missing is brain set. It's subconscious default brain beliefs. Okay, it's not your connection to self or source or spirit or whatever. That's not the issue. You've got that down pat. You know that you are a powerful individual. It's not the strategy. Y'all have been working the strategy forever. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Why is that? Because of your physical brain. The default systems that have been conditioned into your physical brain about who you are, about your own capabilities, and about how the world operates in general. So if you got triggered when I said you're going to have to make $160K in order to avoid paying more taxes, if you got triggered by that, there's work to be done because we need to make this transition smooth. And I know this is going to sound like a broken record, but I just have to toss this in. All that shadow work that you have been doing for the past 5 years is because of what's happening in 2025. And I know that sounds like a broken record when it comes to astrology. Every year we hear that, right? Oh, this is going to be a year unlike any other. And I think that those of us that are into astrology probably overuse that term because we knew every year was going to be intense. Okay, I want you to know that, especially when we were moving into the age of Aquarius, we knew that that was going to be an intense move. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, all of that work was setting us up for this coming year because there is some serious planets changing signs. And you know what happens when those outer planets change signs? Huge global upheaval. Okay, so let's just get you prepared for this. So the first thing I want you to understand is that we're not talking about your connection to the collective, to spirit, to guides. We're talking about your physical brain here. And most coaches out there that are, air quote, teaching mindset are only teaching you awareness. They're not teaching you a method in order to transform that. I'm going to tell you there is beauty in breath work, in Reiki, and all those gorgeous energetic ways to shift energy through the physical body. But those tools do not change the core level belief systems that you had that create those frequencies to begin with. Okay, let me say that again because I'm full of a lot of mouthfuls of words today. So let me just say it one more time and I'm going to slow it down. The beauty about breath work and Reiki and any other energy work, even meditation and journeying with medicine women, they're great energetic shifts that can happen within our physical tonal. Our tonal is our physical body, okay? So that these can create beautiful energetic shifts and releases within our physical body. But the reason why we need to have those shifts within our physical body is because our brain, it originates a frequency, a thought, a belief system, and then it places it in the body somewhere. And yes, we can change our personal frequency through these methods. But what we are not changing is the source of these frequencies, which is our belief system on a core level. This is where all of it comes together, creating a new cosmic reality, rebuilding, restructuring our physical brain to align with our higher self's purpose. Okay? So you can do all the breath work, but that's not going to change the source of the frequency. The source is your internal belief system. So in order to create that long-lasting, beautiful personal frequency and not have to continue to do these energetic rituals, you need to go to the source, your brain. So let's say that you were taught from a really early age that you were poor. And when I say when you were taught that, maybe your parents were always telling you that they needed to watch money, watch their spending, that you guys weren't those people, the rich people. You didn't have a house in the country club hills where your friends did. That, you didn't get the best car when you turned 16. Just that you had to tighten the belt and watch every penny spent through words and actions. So you carry that on a deep core level. That is a belief system that you carry around. And so continually, you are telling yourself in many different ways that your awareness isn't recognizing. It's telling you that you're poor. You're always going to be poor. It's a waste of time to even try and build a business. It will probably just be taken away from you at the end. So you're telling yourself these stories on a really core level. Now, awareness is when you recognize the story. You're like, oh my God, I'm telling myself that I can't have that because I don't have enough money when I clearly do. That's awareness. But without a method to reprogram those stories, nothing's going to change. And that's why you continue day after day getting the same results. So instead of moving to breath work that's only going to change the discomfort and the frequency which is held in your body, we want to go straight to the source, your brain, and we want to pluck those belief systems out and we want to put in powerful belief systems, therefore changing your internal frequency for good. So back to our projections for 2025. We want to accelerate that personal frequency to a new level to allow money to come in rapidly so that you're getting new results in 2025, unlike the failed results that you got in 2024. We want to make sure that you're in a projection to getting what you want instead of creating that same cycle year after year. Now, here's the deal. This transformation doesn't have to take a lot of time. It doesn't have to take a lot of money, and it doesn't have to take a lot of effort. That's the beautiful thing about the brain. We can create transformation, internal paradigm shifts in our belief system in a matter of weeks, not months. But we have to have the right tool. And that's where my offer comes in. Because for the next 24 hours and the next 24 hours only, I am offering to you the ability to purchase 5D Prosperity, a powerful step-by-step method that is going to transform your core level beliefs into a powerful ally. It's going to create permanent transformation, which then will allow you to take aligned action and create the results that you want in your business, giving you the ability to have a better quality of life. And it's very impromptu and is only happening because of what happened last week. I'm offering it to you for $497. This is $2,000 off the market price. Now, what I want you to know is once this is over, it's never going to be that price again. But know that if you get this in the next 24 hours, which is the 21st of November, then you're going to save $2,000. And here's the beautiful thing about it. If you purchase it and you start practicing this method, by the time the doors open for E10X, you are going to be ahead of the game. Once you have access to this method, everything changes in your life. And it will set you up for success in 2025, but every year after. Now, you have one of two choices. You can choose to do nothing and continue getting the same results that you got last year using the same failed strategy. Or if you're the type of woman that is willing to do what others are not, to have a transformation that most women will never have, then this is your opportunity. Because once you have your hands on this method, anything you desire in this life becomes possible. Go to the show notes and pick it up today, or you can catch it on Black Friday next week.